Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You wanna get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Thames, if you wanna go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome to the greatest damn town in Montana, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca Ingham.
I'm Shannon Newth.
And we're no damn experts. And today, Shannon, this could be the most exciting podcast we've ever done in the history of We're No Damn Experts.
Wow.
I cannot contain my excitement over the brilliance you've brought
Oh, no.
to this podcast studio.
Muddled my way through it.
Hey,
we made
got it going.
We came here.
We launched this podcast not knowing anything.
That's true. That's the way we got
we're
into it.
hitting this milestone not knowing anything.
We're figuring it out. Look at us go.
There's
Do you
a
want to tell
reason.
people why?
Yeah.
What's happening?
We have two guests on the show today that
Yes.
Shannon will tell you all about.
Mm-hmm.
But people, one of them is not in the room. They're on the phone.
Which, you know, if you listen to any like popular podcast, this is not a normal,
thing for them.
us. This is new and different, and it's just the two of us. We don't have engineers. We don't have all the things, so we're excited.
We are steps away. We are knocking on the door of Joe Rogan. We're going to take him down.
That's right. Coming for you. That's right. You guys didn't know that, right? Number
So,
one in the world. Just kidding.
Beyond the fact that we have a guest on the phone,
Yeah.
who are our guests?
Yes,
And what are we
let's get
talking
to
about
them.
today? I
Yes.
know that should be just the highlight, but we
That's it.
brought
That's
them
the
here.
highlight. We're done.
They should talk.
Yes, so we're really excited. In studio with us, we have Raysha, and then on the phone, we have Katrina. Are you still there, Katrina?
I am still here.
And Raysha's here.
And Raysha's
Excited to be here.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you both. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. And we are talking today about women who explore, which I am super excited to learn all about it. So first, though, we want to learn
Yeah, we
more
wanna learn about them.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Let's
Raysha,
start with
since you're
Raysha.
in studio, kick us off. What's
Just
your deal?
Who you are, where
Where
you're
are you from?
all the
I
things.
am from Great Falls,
Yay.
born and raised.
What do you do when you're not exploring? I mean, just lay it all out on the table.
I am a teacher in town, teach second grade,
Oh.
and grew up camping, hiking, doing all the things, and just like never stopped. So
Yeah, why would
still
you?
doing it. Yeah.
How
Good
did
deal.
you get involved with this before we pitch it over to the phone?
So I saw it as like a Facebook group to join, and I joined, and they have something called ambassadors, who are kind of like people who try to organize events for people to go to. And Katrina had organized this event, and I went to it and loved it. And her and I hung out a little bit doing some snowshoeing and stuff like that. And then she was like, "You should be an ambassador too." And I was like, "Okay, I'll try it."
Why not? Yeah.
So you're an ambassador. Katrina, tell us what your deal is. Where are you currently? And then where do you live normally? And then all the things
All the-
about you that you
yeah.
want to share.
So I'm also a Montana native. I was actually born in Glasgow, but grew up in Kalispell and Missoula.
I'm an Eastern Montana girl too, Katrina.
Yeah. Woo. And then I moved to Great Falls. We bought a house there in, oh gosh, it's been 3 years ago now, 2 years
Okay.
ago now. I can't even remember.
Ideal timing with the market. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was right before interest rates went back up, so it was good.
Perfect.
But I'm currently in a little town called Loman, Idaho, and the only reason people would know it is because they'd be Hot Springs fans. I'm working for the National Forest and for the Forest Service, and I'm on the Boise National Forest. So I'm here. I get to come home for the winters, but I'm here during field season.
Oh.
My partner and dogs are both in Great Falls. So
You don't get to take your dogs with you? That's too bad.
You know,
Well, I'm truly adventuring because I am living in a camper.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yes.
just gonna
So
say
it's
for
a
my
lot for them.
for my own personal experience, I think I probably really miss the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's
why I
it's
asked
very
about the
hard.
dogs.
It's very difficult.
That's what
It's
do
very
they
difficult.
when you're home, do they go on adventures with you? Or when you're not
Oh yeah.
in the camper? Yeah.
Yep. We're always adventuring. We're skiers. I take them cross country skiing, snowshoeing. They absolutely love
yeah.
it. They've been on a few Women Who Explore adventures. Yeah. So
Are your dogs
actually,
female?
they're exempt from the rules, right?
Oh,
Yes, of
Well, I
course.
was just checking
I
if they
have
were
one.
boys or girls.
I have one female and 2 males.
Okay.
Oh, there we
yeah.
go. That's
Three
fine.
dogs.
Raysha, any pets at home?
Yeah, I have a
Oh, you're gonna show
little
pictures.
Airedale,
Oh,
who
so
is
cute.
my best adventure buddy.
Oh, they're the best.
Yeah,
Oh,
We
I think
really
I've
love
seen
dogs.
pictures
She
of
goes
you
on-
with your dog
on the
posted. Yeah.
paddleboard, and yeah, she goes on everything. She doesn't want to be left behind.
Okay, I have a question for you about paddleboarding with a dog because I we have 2 dogs. I say mine because he was with me before my husband was. So he's my number one man, Mr. Watson. And we tried, this is a number of years ago, I have a blow up paddleboard and we went to Holter Lake. And this was probably not the best day because it was windy and choppy. And I was like, we're going to try Watson standing on the board once I stand on the board. But it was really wavy and he was nervous and we both went under and it was just, I'm not sure it'd be good to get him back on. So how did you get your dog to like stand still and not be nervous on a paddleboard?
Well, so I adopted her when she was 5,
Okay.
and my parents have a place by Craig, and I was just gonna leave her there,
Yeah.
and then she just like ran out and just got on it and was
She's
like, "You're
like, "You
not,
are not
leaving
leaving
me." And so after that trip, I got her like a little life jacket, so if she does happen to
Yeah.
fall off, I can just grab her and put her on easy.
Nice. Yeah. Thankfully, Watson had a
But
life
she
jacket
like,
on
yeah,
too.
she's so chill. She just like lays down, take a nap. Like,
Yeah.
she's not bothered at all.
That's good. I'm
That's
gonna have to
pretty
try
awesome.
it again with Watson. Do you, Katrina? Do you do paddleboarding or kayaking or anything with your dogs?
So we have my Emmy, who's in the Kita mix. When she was a puppy, when we first moved to Great Falls, we took her on the canoe in the Missouri right downtown.
Yeah.
And that was one of the most terrifying things I've ever been through.
No. Oh no.
She did not want to sit still. There were too many ducks, too many geese, too many pelicans.
Yeah.
All the beautiful birds we have in the river there.
Yeah. So
but I did get them on a paddleboard with me out at one of the reservoirs, and I literally screamed, "This is the greatest day of my life."
Yeah, it's so you would just want them to be able to do all the exploring and adventures with you.
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
was like,
it makes
all my
them
dreams
happy, so
come
it makes me
true.
happy.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Exactly.
So Katrina, fill us in on how you got involved with Women Who Explore, and are you an ambassador as well?
I am an ambassador. So it's kind of a funny story. I'm a mom. I have a 20-year-old daughter and a 17-year-old son. And I was actually looking for my daughter to have like outdoorsy friends.
Oh,
And
nice.
I stumbled
That's a good
across
idea.
Yeah.
I stumbled across Women Who Explore on Facebook, like these groups, because it's a worldwide thing. So each state has different things, and even globally, many countries. But I stumbled across it and I was like, oh my gosh, there's one in Montana. I like to have friends. It's hard to make friends when you are older and an adult and not, back in the party days. And so I joined. And then it was kind of quiet for a while. There wasn't much activity going on. And probably a couple of years ago now, another ambassador joined. She was moving to where I was, and we started chatting. And then I was like, hey, this sounds like something I'd like to do, because I also know myself that I need to have accountability. And if I plan the event, I can't back out. As if I sign up
True.
for an event, I can easily back out.
Yeah.
So I decided to join as an ambassador, and actually the event that Raysha came on was, I think, my second one.
Oh, wow.
I did like a meet
Oh.
and greet. So I teach yoga as well. I taught yoga in Great Falls.
Nice.
So I had done like a yoga and coffee at the hair salon. I'm also
could
I
get
was
on
a hairdresser for a year. So
Many
Look,
talents.
yeah, so
Many
many
talents.
talents.
She
I'm
does it all,
I'm
guys.
definitely a
Yeah.
jack of all trades.
Yeah. A Jane of all trades.
but-
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I got involved and kicked it off, and now I'm in Idaho. I'm also an ambassador here because it's a great, like I said, a great way to meet people. And
Yeah.
I still love my community in Montana. So when I'm home in the winter time, we do lots of things, and it's just been the most amazing thing. I've made the greatest friends, in my mid 40s through this community. It's just awesome.
Did did your daughter ever find
What
friends?
came of that? Yeah.
I mean, seems like it turned out real well for you, Katrina, but maybe.
I know, how funny, right? So she has yet to go on any. She's like,
Oh my
Mom.
goodness.
She's like, Mom, you want me to go meet up with strangers? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I know I taught you stranger danger all these years, but yes, I do.
I mean, you.
In the woods with no
Right.
service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
I mean, I think it sounds completely safe. And how else are you going to meet people? Everyone
I
was
mean,
once a stranger to
Raysha
you.
came- Raysha literally came and backpacked with me in the snow
And
in
she's still
January
alive.
into a cabin in the woods.
I
Like, we've
think
never met.
like 80% of the events, I'm like meeting people at the trailhead, and you like have never met
have no
most of
idea
them
who they
before,
are.
and
Everybody comes
still
back alive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Good deal. No jinxing
Well,
on
that's
this one.
we keep our community safe, right? Like
Yeah.
yes,
we have a lot of things in place that we really try to keep the spammers out. We try to make sure
We
that you
vet the
identify as female.
profiles.
Yep. And the weirdos kind of weed themselves out, to be honest.
Take care
Well,
of
and what I
themselves.
found is most of the weirdos don't want to put in the effort that it's going to take to, take down a whole group of people at an event in the woods.
Well, and then they're just like, wow,
Right.
you guys are too high energy. Like,
Yeah.
this is
This
going to be
is
more
not what
work
I was
than I
expecting.
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In general, I
worth
just,
it.
Because
I
we're
just
like,
think-
let's go hike 15 miles for fun.
and then the
Right.
weirdo's like, I'm
Never
out.
mind, I'm
These
out.
people aren't the kind I can kill.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So visitors, it's safe for
And
you.
we all
Yeah.
have bear spray.
Yes.
Right.
So the weirdo animals will stay away too.
So talk to me about the types of adventures that are planned, and more importantly, how someone who maybe isn't from the area can just
Yeah.
show up or register to attend.
Yeah, maybe Raysha, you want to go first?
So for the state of Montana, we have our group, and it's over 10,000 members now. It's
Holy
pretty big.
cow.
And then we have like little side chats for each specific area, like Great Falls, Kalispell,
Okay.
Bitterroot,
Okay.
things like that. And you can go to any event that gets posted. You just have to register for the event and sign a waiver.
Is it like a Facebook event inside the group, or
Yeah.
is it direct to a new website, or
It directs you to an Eventbrite like ticket.
okay?
And that has like all the information on it and things like that. That way we have like everyone's contact information in case something happens.
Right.
We
Yeah.
can be safe. And if someone has a medical issue, like we're going to know, okay, we have to watch out for this person if they have like diabetes. We need to make
Sure.
sure that we have their information. And so like I've literally gone to events all over the state because I
Oh,
can.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
um,
That's super cool.
it's been amazing and excited to host more events.
Yeah. And Katrina, it sounds like you've been around this a little bit longer. How do you go about like planning an event as an ambassador? Kind of what's your role in that? How do you decide what you're doing? All of that.
So some of it is just things that I want to do, but I haven't done before. Like we've been to the bouldering gym in town, which is so fun.
Yeah.
It was something that I always wanted to do. And I'm like, I'm going to make an event. And then I have to do it. If I make
Right,
it,
you're the
people
leader.
say it,
It's a
I
good
have
way to do
show
it.
up.
Yeah.
It's a really good way to like trap myself into following through.
I like that.
Yeah.
So these,
We've done lots of hiking along the river. You know, I've done, like I said, meet and greets where we go to local coffee shops. I like to support local businesses. So I love trying out like different places and bringing women together. Like I've done the yoga events, I've done skiing. You know, I try to make things different, get people kind of out of their comfort zone as well. And just have fun. So
it's
all
not
sorts of things.
it's not necessarily experiences that you have to be extreme about. It's not
No, it's more
Not at
about
all.
like
3
creating
nights in the
this-
Bob Marshall
Right.
wilderness.
They're not all
and
15
It's
mile.
like more about creating this community of women and a safe,
connecting each
a
other.
safe community for women
Yeah.
to that are kind of like-minded and empowering those women to maybe go and try something they haven't before.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
When
I
we did a,
oh, go ahead, Katrina.
sorry, Raysha. No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Because I'd kind of done some backpacking, but nothing super intense. And going on these trips with people, like everyone has been so nice and so knowledgeable and like never made me feel like I was stupid for asking a question or that I couldn't do something. Like it's like the best hype group when you're trying something new because like you know, it's like nerve wracking. And if you don't really know anybody, you're just like, oh, am I going to make myself look like an idiot? But I have nothing but like great, fabulous experiences. So I feel a little biased. But
That's great though, and it really is that the whole like women supporting women concept really, because that can be intimidating, especially if you're a visitor coming in and you just want to be able to get out and explore, but you don't really know where to start. Like this is a very
or you don't
want
to do it by yourself.
Right.
Which is a good safety tip. I mean, you can
100%,
go out
yeah.
and explore on your own in general, but you need to be aware of bears and mountain lions and bison and
Snake.
weird humans. Yeah.
well, that is one nice thing about this community as well. Like not everyone that's in it is from Montana. Like they might be visiting. They're like, hey, I've got a work conference in Great Falls. What should I go do while I'm here? Because obviously
nice.
the locals are going to know some more
Yeah,
things to
like
do than
places
just
to
like
go.
a Google search.
yeah.
100%. Yeah.
So tell me, anyone besides Shannon,
Okay, fine. Just kidding.
just because you're not part of
These
this
are
group,
not our guests. Yeah.
how do you prevent a moron like myself from joining the group, becoming an ambassador, and then creating an experience that I know nothing about and shouldn't lead? Like, hey, I would love to go see Our Lake and do an Our Lake hike. So I'm going to create that event, but I've never done it. I don't know where the trailhead is. I have no idea how long it's going to be, what you should bring. What kind of stopgaps are in place for that? Do you just find another person and be like, hey, this idiot probably has never done this before. We need to find someone who'll for sure go on this trip with them.
I can take that, Raysha.
You take the lead on that one.
So to become an ambassador, we do have open enrollment time where you have to apply. But that being said, once you become an ambassador, there is a lot of training that the Women Who Explore organization gives us, which is really nice. So we have to know leave no trace principles. We need to know map planning. They encourage you to be wilderness first aid, which I actually did an event for women in Great Falls. We did a wilderness first aid. It was so much fun.
Oh, I want to go to that.
Yeah, that
I
would be
need
fun.
those
Yeah,
skills.
it was really fun. We were like play wrapping each other's heads and all these things. But so you do get a lot of training for that. And then you've got your community of ambassadors. So, oh my gosh, Raysha, how many are there now in Montana? There's so many of us. It's one of the biggest groups of ambassadors that
I want to say there's
think,
at least like 12 of us now.
That's
So
quite a
we
bit.
all talk together and we can say, hey, I have this idea. I'm not sure how to execute it. Anybody have any ideas? And so we kind of get to bounce ideas off of each other as well. You know, it's like you've got your
That's
squad.
helpful.
And
And then
it's
like
super helpful. I mean,
we're so lucky to live in Montana because everyone is so nice here. And like you can like when we go to Bighorn, they're so nice and so knowledgeable at Bighorn and they're like, hey, this is what you should do. This is who you should contact.
yeah.
They're amazing. But you can also like do an event where someone has done ice climbing and they actually like you just have a guide come, but like everyone kind of helps split the cost of it. And then like they're guiding you. So like you're still being safe and you have someone that knows what they're doing, but like you also get to experience something new that you wanted to do.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That is really awesome.
So I saw I think I've been following Women Who Explore, I think the like mass Instagram account and then also the Montana one for a while. And I saw when they did like the call for ambassadors. So what all did you have to do to submit to be an ambassador?
Well, wilderness training and all this other
Well,
stuff.
but they had to like apply to get selected. That's what I
You
mean.
have to like fill out an application and send in like a video.
Okay.
Oh.
And then they kind of go through all of the applicants and like see kind of like where there's a need for ambassadors and like if you have experience, and then they let you know like, yes, you're an ambassador or no, you're not. And when you become an ambassador, like Katrina said, like we have all of these training videos that we have to watch. If we do an event, there are all of these checklists that we have to complete.
Okay.
So it is like
That is so
safe and
reassuring.
and
It
Yeah.
is, right? It's because your concern was it's just some rando who has no idea what they're doing.
Like me. Like, how do you prevent me from doing something that
You
I
can.
shouldn't?
It's just not through this organization.
Well, the good thing to remember though is like all of us ambassadors, like we're all volunteering our time. Like it's because we want to be out there doing this with other women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Katrina, you said how long have you been involved with Women Who Explore? You said
It'll
you've been
be 3 years
Okay.
this in a couple months.
And your poor daughter.
Yeah.
Still looking for friends.
Oh my goodness. So what's Raysha, because you just officially kind of became an ambassador earlier this year,
In
right?
February.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what all have you done as an ambassador so far?
So I did a bingo birding event at
Oh.
Benton Lake,
That is a
which
fun
was
idea.
very fun. Teacher and me, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have done a backpacking event at Mystic Lake and then one in Devil's Glen. And right now I'm trying to get a couple of things planned here, but everyone's so busy in the summer, it's like a little bit harder.
For sure.
But doing like a meditation, mindfulness one with like the sound bowls and kind of picky.
awesome.
Katrina did this amazing event with Bighorn where we were we had to like map out a route and they like helped us like figure out what was safe and what was not safe. And I'd love to do like an orienting class where like if you lost your map, like how you would get back safely, how you could find your way with them.
That's an important skill.
Shelly is the best at Bighorn.
Yes, they're
Just
amazing.
Just to clarify some things for our listeners who may not be from here. When you're saying Bighorn, are you talking about the retail store, Bighorn Outdoor Specialists?
Yes.
With
Okay,
Beth,
yeah, they
who's
are
been on
pretty
our
amazing.
podcast.
They're
Yes.
pretty amazing. And then, because I don't know, where's Mystic Lake and Devil's Glen?
So Devil's Glen's on the Rocky Mountain front out of Augusta. And Mystic Lake is by Red Lodge. And so I'm trying to like explore and do some more around here because just like growing up, we always just like camped all over the place. And so like we didn't do as much close to Great Falls. So now I'm trying to like discover the Rocky Mountain front more, get into the Little Belts more.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to do some events in there, but I want to like explore it on my own first before I invite these people and be like, hey.
See,
I
they're
think this
going
might
through
be
the
safe and
process.
good.
Yeah.
Who knows? Do you guys do any partnerships with like Wild Montana, who sets up like those day hike opportunities in their different chapters of the state?
So we have
Dead
it. They're
silence.
kind of like their own entity.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like I just got back from a trip that an ambassador in Kalispell organized, and it was with the Bob Marshall Wilderness Foundation, and we just
Nice.
went and did trail maintenance.
Oh.
So I think that'd be really fun to do something on this side of the
Yeah.
mountains, because it was so much fun to like see all these ladies, swinging axes and sawing. And
That's fantastic.
Was
Yeah.
there training on how to saw?
yes,
I mean, because you pick up a chainsaw, and that's not necessarily
It's a little intimidating.
well, you actually
skill set that
can't
feels
use
normal.
mechanical
Oh,
things
yes.
because you're in the
The
wilderness.
sound.
And
So
Katrina's
you're
done a trip too, where to
hand-sawing.
doing trail maintenance with them.
That's a really interesting
love-
point.
I love the
Yeah.
wilderness.
Well, it was not until this moment that I connected the dots that it was all mechanical stuff. Like we tell people you can go to the Rocky Mountain front and you can
Yeah.
ride your bike, but you can't do that in the Bob Marshall Wilderness Complex because there's nothing mechanical in there. And then I didn't even connect the
No,
dots
you're
that
allowed.
led to also
Yeah, you're
chainsaws
Yeah.
you're using all hand tools.
Wow.
to do
Yeah.
maintenance.
Yeah, it's even more badass. Yeah.
Yeah,
Was.
100%.
So Katrina, what do you have any events coming up soon, or what have you been up to since you've been renamed ambassador?
I haven't. I typically take the summers off because it's my time with my kids. And then I'm a shoulder season girl and a winter girl.
Yeah.
So yeah, I tend to take the summers off. Like Raysha said, it's hard to get people together. Everybody's so busy in the summer times. We tend to have lower numbers. And it is my family time. So I'm very respectful of that. But, hikes. I am hoping to do some backpacking trips in the shoulder season in the fall.
Nice.
when
That's
it
such a
cools down
beautiful
little bit.
time too to be hiking
Yeah.
around. Like that's
It's
such a
one of
great time.
one of my favorites. You've got lower water crossings, although you do have to really plan for, do you have water on the trail? Can you refill? Depends on how long you're going, where you're going, all those things. But it is not as many people out there. You kind of get it to yourself. So
Yeah.
and then again, when the snow flies, hopefully early again this year, I will be on the ski hill skiing, cross country skiing, backcountry skiing, snowshoeing, all the things. So yeah, I've thought about doing some ice skating because I know we have an ice rink in Great Falls.
We
but I
do.
haven't
That's a
done that
great
yet.
idea.
But it's nice to utilize the chats in the summer.
Yeah.
Because just last week, someone chatted and they're like, hey, paddleboard before work. And like 6 of us
Ooh.
showed up at Longfellows Park and just went
Yeah.
paddleboarding from like 7 to 8. And it was great.
That's
Perfect.
fantastic.
So
So
I
fun.
need to join these.
you can still,
channels.
you can still like use the chats and stuff to like meet up with people in what we call unofficial events.
Yeah.
And do that kind of stuff because there are so many cool things, especially like with the base here. You have so many people who don't know all these like great little gems around
Yeah.
here. So we did one like at the Buffalo Jump, like right before school got out. And they're like, we had no idea this was out here. And I was like, isn't
Yeah.
it great? Isn't
Right.
it beautiful?
Mhm.
Yeah.
One of the best places. Yeah.
Yeah.
And First Peoples does that in the shoulder season, the petroglyph
And
hike.
pictograph.
There we
Mhm.
go.
Yeah.
Which is really fun. And they do that in the shoulder season to stay away from the snakes.
Yeah, that's my favorite part is staying away from snakes. Yeah. It's fun to see because I think I had, which was just my own naivety, but I was thinking it was just about like summer hiking when I saw the Women Who Explore group. So that's so fun that there's
We're learning so
all
much.
of these different events, which by the way, Katrina, so you talked about yoga. I've been getting more into yoga the last year and I did a power sculpt class yesterday, which usually I haven't
nice.
done the power ones and my legs are like still jiggly today from it. It was intense.
Was that at Habit?
At Habit. Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Yes,
Mhm.
I was one of their first instructors when they
Oh,
opened.
really? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I go to Hatha on Thursday mornings with Sarah and I've started doing the hot vinyasa.
Oh, I love Sarah.
But yeah, I did the she's fantastic. I really like her. But then I did power sculpt yesterday. That was a whole different kind. That was a whole different kind
It's a
of
whole different
yoga.
beast.
Ooh, that was intense. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I miss my habit.
Yeah.
So what are you think back on your highlight reels, both of you, of the experiences you've had in this area, whether it's been with Women Who Explore or before you were a part of the group? What are the highlights? One or two or
Favorite experiences? Yeah.
just one of those things that sticks out for you?
I think just like getting to share some things with people. Like, I'm like, hey, I'm doing the North Shore Trail today. And like, people come and they're like, I just had no idea this is here. And you're like, oh yeah, this is where Sacagawea went and got.
And you said it correctly. Yeah.
And, you know, like going to like the Portage site and like, cause they're just like, wow, they were really like Lewis and Clark were really here. And I was like, yeah, they were right here.
Right here.
They peed in this spot right there.
It's unassuming it's a field, but this is where that history happened.
And I think the birding event was my very first event. And we had an actual like avid birder come because she was like, I don't meet other birders. And I was so excited you did this. And I was like, I am literally don't know what I'm doing. I have like a book here. I've got the Merlin app, but I just thought it would be fun. And she got everyone's so excited about these birds. And she's like, this one is so rare. And we're just like, is it? It's amazing.
It's so pretty.
Yeah.
And so just like seeing these like women bond over these experiences has just been like awesome. And like, you know, something that I was like craving in my life. And I'm so glad that I am able to facilitate that for other ladies. And, you know, I have such good role models like Katrina, because she holds the great events. And she's always been so kind with like how she words things. And like, so I don't know, just like facilitating this community of people or being like, hey, they're doing stargazing out at First Peoples today, FYI. And they're like, oh my gosh, thanks for letting me know. I'm going to take my kids. And
So Katrina, highlight for you in this area, whether it be an event you planned or just attended.
I think it's just the people that show up. I did an early season hike and we did the North Shore Trail down to Maroney Dam. And there were like, it was a last minute thing that I planned and there were like 7 or 8. So I try to keep my numbers small because I'm in the National Forest or the Forest Service, and I'm big on keeping your resources safe.
Yep.
And one of the girls like showed up and she was like, so I brought some friends.
Did you kick them out?
I did not kick them out. But I had extra waivers for them to sign just so that I covered my bases.
Sure.
Because you don't want anybody getting hurt.
Yeah.
But it was great. It's not like she brought like a whole tribe, but she brought a couple extra friends. And just to be on this 7-mile hike early, it was like April. I blistered so bad because I forgot all my safety protocols. I had like new shoes on, like I let everything go out the window. But the talking along the trail and the like bonding together, we had girls there that had just moved to town. You know, you had nurses, you had outdoorsy people, we had writers, we had me. At the time then I was a hairdresser / yoga teacher, like all these different backgrounds, all different ages, different levels. And I have done more things with some of the girls that I've met, like even outside of Women Who Explore, we've gone on different backpacking trips. We've kept in touch. One of the girls has come to Idaho to visit me. Like it's just, I think that honestly, it's that community that you build that it is hard when you're an adult.
It is so hard to make friends as an adult.
It is.
It is.
Like,
and people are pretty flaky nowadays. So
That's true. That's very true.
Everybody gets scared. And so it's really that. It's that camaraderie. And the same with like the meet and greets. When you have somebody that's like, I wasn't going to come to this, but I decided to, and I'm so glad I did, you know, because it's peeking past that, like, the self-doubt and all these things, and then they push past it and they get there, and it's just like it's such a welcoming experience.
And And I think,
like Raysha said, I've never had a bad experience, even though I freak out every night before. I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done? Like, full transparency, I do. And then I like get there, my heart's pounding, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever.
It's great.
So
I think the other thing that it really helps with is if you're like a solo female traveler and you've got this network across not just
oh yeah,
Montana, but the world, really. It makes it a little bit safer, more comfortable for you to be able to take that leap and come and explore. Because honestly, Montana, and I will include Idaho because you're there, Katrina, but Montana is an outdoor recreation paradise.
Yeah.
And so if you don't
for
have
sure.
the ability to get out and do that really kind of on your own, and you need that buddy system, it's like built in, which I find very comforting and a little bit more consistent because you can slip in. Here, I'm going to use the kids as cool terms. I'm going to slip into the DM chats of this and just like, hey, I'm here.
In, not slip.
Okay, slide into the DMs and then chat up and say, I'm in Great Falls for this day. Anybody want to be my rent-a-buddy and take me on something cool?
Yeah.
And then you have that opportunity to connect with someone, I think is a really unique experience that technology is providing for the solo female traveler where they don't have to be so scared.
Yeah. I know. Now I'm like,
it really is
I'm gonna
true.
go try it.
I mean, I'm in a township of 42 people. It's mostly Forest Service workers. And I have met a girl who has a cabin up here that I've been able to go hiking with. I mean, it's just like, I wouldn't have met her other than that.
Yeah.
So,
and how do you find some of these people?
Right.
Like, she's in her cabin in the middle of nowhere.
right. Like, she's
You
up
ain't just
there,
walking up to the door, knocking and going, hey,
I
saw you.
Hey, there's a yurt. I'm going to go knock on the door.
Probably not a good idea. Yeah.
We both have met this great lady that you went to Glacier with, Katrina, and she like literally knows every plant that you could like think of. And she's so knowledgeable and she's so cool. And you're just like, wow, I just want to hang out with you all the time.
Yeah. Tell me
great.
more about plants.
Sure.
Right. Let's just listen to you talk about the plants and to the plants all day.
It reminds me of a guest we had in here yesterday that just wanted to talk to people about a specific topic. And he just kept asking questions.
Like, we are not your experts.
And like, we know nothing about this topic. And then he'd bring something up and he's like, do you have anything you want to talk about regarding that? I'm like, no. Like, I'm the dumbest person you could be talking to at this point.
Just we send you to
on
go
this
talk to
topic,
people who
which is
know.
why I've been telling you to leave this building.
Yeah.
Not because I'm being rude, but because you'd have a better conversation with someone
literally anyone else
who has way more knowledge than I do about this topic.
Yep. Yeah. So then you find those people and you go hike with them.
Yeah. And you're like, tell me more about plants.
Yeah. Can you all tell me, like, just as backing up a little bit, but the Women Who Explore community, like the whole like worldwide network, do either one of you know like how it got started or kind of what, is it all just run by volunteer ambassadors or is there like an actual like.
So there's two ladies who own Women Who Explore.
Okay.
And, I'm not sure, maybe you know, Katrina, it was like they bought it from someone.
Oh.
Yeah, so they were actually ambassadors. And then I believe it was just before 2020, like 2019 maybe, the people that owned it approached them and said, hey, we're looking to sell. And there was 3 of them. Actually, at the time, there's, I believe, just 2 that are active now. One of them was from Montana as well. And
Outdoor
so they took it over. And so there is, like I said, the Big Women Who Explore organization, which they do big trips. So they plan
trips to like the Faroe
trips
Islands
all
and
over the
Machu
world.
Picchu and like things like that.
Ooh.
And again, it's still women only, but you've got, those are like big bucket item trips.
Yeah.
And then they had this idea though, like, let's have these ambassadors and these smaller groups that have these communities. And I think we're in almost all 50 states, maybe not quite.
I think it's all 50 states now after the last round.
And then and then Canada and Europe, and like it's just growing. It's
That's
so
so
cool. So yes, we have this huge community of ambassadors, and then it's just like it's like the web of life, right? Like you kind of start to tug on one string and something over there starts to vibrate, and pretty soon you're just getting all these amazing connections and learning. We learn from each other so much. It's really cool. So shout out to our fearless leaders at Women Who Explore Worldwide Global.
I think a lot of people, especially after COVID, were really craving that community and like
For
that
sure.
Opportunity to get out more.
Yeah.
Well, and how what a great testament to actual social media doing good
Doing positive things.
and connecting people who are not trolls, being amazing to each other within their communities, within their within the wilderness space.
It is honestly just like such a great group of just like badass, amazing women.
Yeah. It gives, like, I am just getting so excited just about the whole worldwide network component too. Like, how cool is that wherever you go, you could search for this group.
You should probably apply to become an ambassador.
Here's the thing. I'm not sure I should be leading anything.
You could do all the meet and greets in town.
Oh, I could do meet and greet. Yeah, I could do I could do
the easy
some, like,
stuff.
local, more local stuff. I just probably shouldn't.
You could do a
figure it out.
kayak trip.
I say you can do like a concert.
Yeah.
You can do like when we like the farmers market. Like it does not have to be.
I do like
It
that.
doesn't have to be
Actually,
extreme.
Actually, I would like, and I like what Katrina said. It's that kind of accountability component because there's all these things I want to do and see, and the majority, like I know lots and lots of people here have friends, but the majority of my like super close friends are not in town here. So when it comes to just doing things, I'm like,
Well, and the other thing that I find is even with people I know, maybe they don't like to spend a lot of time with me. So, like, I might invite them to do something, but they're like, oh, I've got this going on. And I'm like, well, I've exhausted all 5 of my friends. What am I going to do now? Like,
That is
I still want
sometimes
to go and meet and have fun.
yeah,
my sister-in-law just like
Right.
recently moved to town, and she's like, "You guys are wild. You just never stop." And I'm like, "Do you just want to go paddleboarding after work?" And she's like, "I just worked all day. Why would I do that?" But
because you can, and it's
you
fun,
can.
and it's
When
better
you
than
find,
just
like,
sitting there. Yeah,
people on like Women Explore, and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's also hike 10 miles after work." And I'm like, "You're my kind
After
of
we
energy."
paddleboard for 5 hours and then we'll go to sleep at 2
you can
watching
find
the
people that
stars.
match your energy that are just as crazy as you are.
my friend, I have a friend.
Type 2 fun.
Yes.
I have some friends here, Sam and Tasha, husband and wife, and we do. As I was saying that, I was like, well, we do a lot with Sam and Tasha, and they are super cool. And Tasha, I think, would love all of this. They're a couple who I've mentioned before on the podcast. They do rafting. They're big rafters, like river rafters, and they make it their goal to go rafting every single month out of the year. And they've like started an Instagram to like track that. And so they're like intense, but super, super fun. And I was like, Tasha would love this group too. So I should get her together with me sometime, and we'll come find one of you two and do an event.
Yeah.
I'm with Katrina. I just like to plan events that I still want to do.
Yeah, totally.
But there's always such a
For
laundry
sure.
list of things that you want to do in your own backyard that you never get to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
no matter how long you've lived in any one community, there's still things that you're like, "Oh, I should do that."
Yeah.
I mentioned that. Maybe I didn't mention it on the podcast. We went and did the Bear Museum in Martinsdale.
Nice.
It was so amazing, and we were there just for a spur of the moment, get out of town trip. And my husband's like, "Well, I don't know if we should do it." I said, "Well, I think we should." And he says, "But it's, we could do it anytime." And I said, "We could. You've
Or we
lived
could do
here
it
all
now."
your life, and I've lived here for 20 years, and we've never done it. And we've been here a number of times. How about we just do it?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, that's probably a good point." Like when,
Just go do it.
yeah. So we did, and it was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there's
I bought a pillow.
My
Mabel.
family's like done the ferry trips around here.
Oh, yeah.
Like you do all 3 ferries in like one day, and they're like, "We still have ferries around here." And I was like, "You're from
Yes.
here, You should
Right.
know."
You should know.
You've been here
Yeah.
a long
That's one
time.
that I need to do. I
Yeah.
need to make an event out of
Okay,
that.
let's
'cause I
make,
haven't
it-
done
let's
the
make an
ferry.
event. Let's do it, Katrina.
You know what would be another fun event? This is a drive from Great Falls, but you could do it out of Great Falls. It's something I've wanted to do. To go see and listen to the elk at Slippery Ann and the
yeah.
Samar
Oh,
Wildlife
yeah.
Refuge.
I'm gonna host that.
It's so much
I-
fun.
Keep
Yeah.
us posted.
I
We
was
will
about
share
to
that.
Let's put it in the
last year.
Facebook group.
Yes. Okay. That's fantastic.
The Virgil Market or the Virgil
Oh, the little-
Mercantiles
yeah, the
having their
Mercantile.
little antique sale thing.
When
So
is
that's-
that?
It's coming up.
Okay, I want to go do that.
I think your husband interested it on Facebook.
You
You
saw
know,
it.
like when you click interested.
Yeah, and then you see other people who said
Yeah.
interested.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
good to know.
oh,
I'll have to.
Jason interested it. That's weird.
You're making that like into a verb. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll
I
have to
don't,
ask
I
him
don't
about
know
that.
how else to say it, but you could combine that with a ferry ride.
That's
there
true.
You go.
I love that. So we were talking a little bit earlier. Raysha, you grew up here, love it here. What are some of the, outside of some of the exploring adventures you've done, what are some of the things you love about Great Falls or like to do when you're not out adventuring?
Katrina,
I-
you're on deck, so be
Be
prepared.
thinking. Yeah.
One of my favorite things about Great Falls is the River's Edge Trail. I literally walk my dog every single day
Aw.
after school on the trail. And I love All Peoples. I think it's
Yeah.
such a pretty cool place.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I feel like our downtown is just getting so like cute
Oh,
and
yeah.
cozy. And
Mhm.
so, and like, I love that a lot of the places are dog friendly. So like,
Yeah.
I love to go get a coffee and just sit out on like a afternoon with the dog. And,
oh, I love that too.
you know, I just really enjoy that. And I love when people come to town, like taking them to the interpretive center
Mhm.
and the little history museum downtown
Yeah.
and doing that kind of stuff because like it is interesting and we like really are such a pivotal part of Montana history with the river.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have a
Woman
favorite?
after my heart,
I
like-
know. I get excited when I hear other people being excited about
I
that.
like
I
I'm
know.
so obsessed with Montana. It's not healthy.
Do you have a favorite, you know, not asking you to pick favorites, but at the same time, do you have a place that you like love or would recommend people have to check out when they visit town for like coffee or food or anything like
So
that?
Cricket Tree is like definitely my number one
Yeah.
place. But I also like Hometown downtown.
That's a
I
fun
like
shop.
want to buy up her whole store.
Yes.
She has these mini note cards that I've fallen in love with, and I just
I
keep
write little
buying
notes
them.
for my students on them.
I
My
write
mom
them
put
and
some in
stick
my
them in little
stocking.
gifts. So like I'll go get a birthday gift and they'll get a card written on one of those, and
Yeah.
I could use those for affirmation cards for you guys.
Have you ever
Good.
have you been to the Getting It store?
Yes, and they've
She
got a
always has
sweatshirt
cute
there.
little like cards and stuff like that too.
Nice. Yeah. Okay.
Katrina,
You're up.
do you remember the question? Because I don't.
What you love about doing in Great Falls
Well,
when you're not leading adventures. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm the same. I love the river trails. We absolutely love taking our dogs down to Giant Springs
Oh,
and
yeah.
hoping there's not a lot of people because they're crazy.
The dogs,
we
not
love,
the
we
people.
like the
Depends
dogs.
on the day.
Dogs are crazy.
Yeah.
We do a lot of like, sorry about our dogs. We're very terrible dog people and we're bad at this.
Oh, that's funny.
Sounds like me as a dog person. Like that's fine. We love him. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I know most people are like, they're dogs. Like, it's to be expected. And I'm like, I'm just embarrassed, but we're here anyway. I love the Interpreted Center as well.
Yeah.
But what I really loved is, so we have a house kind of out by the base on the
Okay.
edge of town.
Mhm.
And I was at the Interpretive Center looking at the map where was it Lewis? I can't remember if it was Lewis or Clark.
Clark, I think.
Probably
Portage
Clark.
to go stand, the park. I'm right down from the park where the big water tower is, Lewis and Clark Park.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's Clark Park. I think it's Clark Park. Where he stood and kind of looked to see where the river kind of bent back and where they were going to have to do their big port.
Oh.
And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, he walked right through our yard.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
But like right through where my house is now. And that to me is just, it's so cool because not only are they a huge part of Montana history, it's the West,
Yeah.
you know, the whole West. And I just love the West.
That's super cool.
Well, and Lewis and Clark spent the most time in any one location outside of winter camp here in Great Falls because
Just
those
cursing
days,
it away.
Right.
those
They kept
5
finding
falls,
more falls.
They're like,
yeah.
they said this was going to be a challenge, but good God, you got to be kidding me.
Right. Oh, and there's another falls.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't
this grizzly's trying to attack me. And oh, another falls.
32 days, and most of it, and they had to do most of it sober because they ran out of whiskey.
Yeah.
And then they have the prickly pear cactus and the mosquitoes.
Yes, the prickly pear and the snake.
Also, anyone visiting Great Falls, got to give a huge shout out to the Newberry.
Oh,
They are bringing in such great shows, and that has been so much fun. Like, I'm there all the time. It's not good for my wallet, but I really enjoy it.
But it's good for the community and your heart, so that's good.
Exactly.
Okay, ladies, here's
I
a
have-
really big question before Shannon asks hers.
Yeah.
The president shows up and asks you to lead the Lewis and Clark expedition. Do you agree to be a part of that expedition? You'd be like, you want us to do what? For how long?
Absolutely.
You do.
You
Katrina.
would volunteer for the Corps of Discovery?
Yeah.
Wait, just like they
I get to
were,
take
like
my
not
dog.
knowing,
Yeah.
not knowing anything.
Yeah, like you're in Lewis and Clark time, and the
Jefferson
president
walks
shows
up and
up
is
and he's like, "Hey, we need 2 people to lead this effort."
I
And
go in blindly more often than not when I shouldn't. So I'd be like, oh, yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
As long as I take
Katrina's
No,
like,
I would, because I'm still trying to figure out how people not work to walk the CDT or the PCT. I'm like, how do you do that?
yeah.
Okay,
I
you
love
can
that
be
both
Clark.
of you
I
are
will
like,
be Lewis.
I love that both of you are like,
So
yeah, we do
somebody
it.
gives me that job, I'm in. I'm all in.
Wow.
I turn it down every time. Like every time the president shows up, it's like, I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know what you're going to see. I just need to figure out what I just
I'm gonna
bought.
get paid to be outside.
I would be like, nope.
Yes.
I have no
But
interest
for
in
like 2
being
straight
fed to the
years
wolves.
with no idea where they're going.
You don't even know it's 2 years when you start
Right.
out.
No,
But
no,
then
you
you
don't.
really know if you mess up or not, so
you
it's fine.
That's true.
Exactly.
very
You have
little
no idea what you're
expectation.
getting yourself into.
If you come back alive, you have exceeded expectations. So,
Precisely.
Yeah.
They only lost one person. They did
which
pretty
is
good.
pretty impressive.
It really
honestly.
is.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even from anything to do with the expedition. They just were
No, it was like
sickly.
an appendix or something.
And
They'll
then
take you
Dog
down.
made it the whole way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So that means you found good enough food that you didn't have to sacrifice that along the way.
No.
I'm
Don't
just
even,
saying.
Don't even go there. No.
They
no.
ate horses.
I am aware. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
what I
I've
was
been a
gonna
berry
ask-
person.
Let's get us back on track,
Well,
Shannon.
I was just going to ask Katrina the same thing I did Raysha about. Do you have a favorite place for like a coffee or drink and food and all of that, or one that you would recommend for visitors who've never been here, or just places they would have to go and see?
I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm one of
Okay.
those weirdos.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all
But
right.
That's fine.
I am a
Me
tea
neither.
drinker,
Yeah.
and I went to Electric City a lot.
Yeah.
I'm plant based, so I'm kind of a weirdo that way as well.
Oh, good.
And they
This
have
is good, though.
lots of good plant based things,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. I actually held, I think, 2 events at Electric City,
Yeah.
so they're
that and-
fantastic. I love the brick wall.
Yeah. Thad and Heidi do a really good job on that front
Yeah.
if you're a plant-based person.
And I might be reaching out
it's
to
nice
you
have
more.
options. It's hard in Montana.
Yeah.
It can be difficult in
Yep.
Montana.
I was going to say I should reach out to you, Katrina, more afterwards because I'd like to have a better list or recommendations for our visitors who come in and ask those questions
from
Yeah.
someone who
Yeah.
actually lives that life. Because
Right.
we sit here and we're like, we've seen people.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
We've
yeah.
seen people eat here before.
Right. Yeah.
We have no
Yeah,
idea.
There's the gal, and I'm blanking on the name, but she does like the Indian
Sabinis.
food.
Ah, I love
Sabines.
beans.
Yeah.
Yes. That's yummy.
delicious. So good. And my other degree is in Ayurveda. So,
Oh my
it's very
goodness.
awesome.
Eastern Indian medicine.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
like, what did she say?
Yes, that's so awesome
Look
that
at
you
how
know
much
what it
stuff I
is.
know.
You got to meet
Wow,
up with her sometime so she can like tell you all about how everything's connected. It's really
Yes.
fun.
Oh, this is a whole other conversation. But I'm
It
super
is
interested
so
to hear.
interesting to me. You could just, that's your next event, Katrina, is just create that.
Yes.
And you talk about all the connections and to your health and how that all works. And people will just be shocked.
Let's make our own tinctures.
Yeah.
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 Here's
I can
some
teach the
coriander
herbals and the
seed, and this is all the
tinctures.
things it can do. And
It's
this
this
is-
is a whole other conversation that's really, I think, fascinating to all of us. I do love, Katrina, the chickpea super seed salad at Electric City.
Yes.
That's one of my favorites. They season them really yummy.
I made a
Yes,
chickpea.
they do a fantastic job.
This was a while ago. I made a really great. Well, no, I'm not going to say it was really great. I made a curried chickpea dish at home, and I thought it was going to be fantastic. It looked unappealing, very unappealing, and it wasn't super good. And I love chickpeas and I love curry, so I thought, this will be
This is
fine.
going to be great.
It was so bad. It was so bad.
Aw.
And I don't even know what went wrong, but it was so bad that we couldn't eat it. But there was so much of it that I put
no.
it into freezer bags, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll find
Maybe
a
it'll
way
be better after it freezes.
If the apocalypse
And
happens,
so I was-
this will be eaten.
This was before Shannon was on our team, and I was telling one of my colleagues about it. I'm like, I just can't throw it away. I'm like, it's a lot of food. And she's like, throw it away. You make
You're
enough
never
money,
gonna
throw it
eat
away.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
like, it's not like it was expensive. I just feel bad for wasting,
wasting the
She's like,
food, yeah.
it looks disgusting. It did not
Just
taste
throw
good.
it.
No one
and now
wants
it's
to eat
sitting in
it.
your freezer. And I'm like,
Throw it in a compost, give it back to the earth.
There you go. There you go. That's a productive way to use it.
it's still in the freezer.
Oh my
I
gosh.
just couldn't. I just can't.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out.
Well,
It's fine. I'm sure. Okay.
that was years ago. I've been on the team for 2 years.
I know. It was like 3-4 years ago. But
Still sitting there.
it's in the freezer. It's safe
It's fine.
forever.
Well, yeah, it's just going to get nastier, but yeah. Okay. How can people, before we wrap up, want to make sure we talked about the Facebook pages, Instagram, all of that. How do people who either live in Great Falls or don't live in Great Falls get involved with the Great Falls chapter of
And with
Women
the
Who
fun stuff
Explore?
that's happening.
Yeah.
So you have to join the Facebook group,
Okay. Which is
And be accepted.
Women Who Explore Montana.
okay.
Yep, and as long as you're not
a weirdo.
a bot, and
Yeah.
all of that fun
Females
stuff.
over 18.
Yep,
And
females over 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I would just start looking at like some of the events that get posted and some of like the questions that people post and ask. And then if you want to get crazy, you can join the Great Falls chat, and then you'll be like in the loop.
Ooh, so is that is that easy to find within the Women Who Explore Montana page? How do I get involved in the chat?
I think it's easy.
There's
Okay.
a,
Well,
there
I
at
just
the top
wanted
of the
to
Facebook
clarify.
page, there's like little
Yeah,
tabs.
that's
and
what
it
it is.
says chat.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and so you just kind of search because like we have our events at the top, we have like featured posts, and there is a chat button,
Okay.
and there's chat for all the major areas in Montana. But yeah, the Great. I'm biased, but I think the Great Falls one is the best.
I think we are one of the more active groups.
I love that. Yeah.
That
That's
makes
well,
sense.
we
That's why I
should
was
be.
like,
There's a
Raysha,
lot.
You have to do this with me.
Yeah.
It is the
I'll
center
take
of
the
the
summers,
world.
you
Yeah.
take the winters. It's fine.
There you go.
We're good to go.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
Well, first of all, thank you for doing what you do to get people out and
Yeah.
having fun and enjoying our community.
Mhm.
Second, thanks for spending some time with us,
Yeah.
especially Katrina,
Thank
who
you.
called in and we made it work.
Yeah.
Not that
Yay.
Raysha should be diminished because she showed up in person,
This is
but
just a
we know
victory
that
for us.
technology
Yeah.
works.
This is a victory for us to have Katrina on the phone
Yeah,
and
so
everyone
cool.
hearing her. Yes.
So, folks,
So fun.
join the groups. especially if you're a solo female traveler, I can't think of a better way to find ways to get out and have fun in this new expedition that you can have here in Great Falls.
And we'll put the info in the show notes on the podcast page here so you
nice of
remember
you?
how to get there.
There you go.
I will. Can I add one more thing?
Please.
Of course.
I know not everybody has a Facebook. We come across that often. Not everybody has a Facebook, and
Sure.
I'm honestly super jealous of them for not having it.
I understand that.
But we do have an Instagram as well, and many times our like the events will get posted, and then if somebody reaches out and is like, "Hey, I don't have Facebook," we can like find a way to get them the link to the Eventbrite because it is a private link. You know, it's not a public link.
Okay.
So there are other ways. If you don't have Facebook, you know, don't feel like, I'm not accepted, because you totally are. As long as you're 18 and identify as a female.
Okay.
And it's okay if you're scared. Just go, because you're going to have a great time.
Absolutely. It's better. It's better if you're like,
Terrified.
Somebody will be there to hold your hand along the way.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
We all started somewhere. Just remember that. We all started somewhere.
That's so true.
Such great words.
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you for your time,
Thank you
your
so
knowledge, for what you
much.
do.
Thank you.
Folks,
So fun.
listeners, we can't wait to see you, whether you're female or not, in our community, exploring and having fun. And if you need any help, we're here for that on many, many levels. And until we see your bright, smiling, happy, healthy, beautiful face in our fine city, we hope you are creating amazing memories with your friends and family wherever you might be. See you soon.
We Are No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town. Damn, that felt good.